If you're a therapist and you've been sitting at home thinking, why are people not referring to me? I've met with tons of therapists and somehow I'm still not getting clients. Today's video is for you. This is going to be a really honest kind of account of why you might not be getting clients so that you can take some self-inventory. I want you to know I'm not judging you here if you're making one of these mistakes. I hope that this helps you correct it so that you can go out and get clients and really help the people that you are meant to serve. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelley Stevens. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and founder of Private Practice Pro. I teach therapists how to build successful private practices. And if you want to take a deeper dive into marketing your private practice, you can check out my Marketing for Therapists course below. But let's get into the top 3 mistakes that I see therapists make that really prevent other therapists from referring to us. Okay, number 1 is actually an easy one, and this is not following up. So one thing I hear all the time from therapists is, hey, I went out and I met with a bunch of therapists. I went to a bunch of networking meetings. Maybe I went to an event and no one referred me any clients. This is a really common misconception. I think I've even fallen for this one, which is like, we've met people. Why aren't they sending us clients? And I want you to remember that people refer through professional friendships. It takes time to build a friendship. And because of the nature of our work, right? We work with people during some of the most challenging times of their lives. And because of that, when other therapists refer you a client, they are really putting deep trust in you and they want to know that they're in good hands. And sometimes that trust takes time to build. An easy fix to this mistake is just making sure you're following up with people. So let's say you meet someone at a networking event. Maybe you invite them to lunch. And then maybe a month later, you send them an email saying something like, hey, I loved when we talked about this one CBT skill or this one intervention that we do with clients. And I found this interesting article on it, thought you'd enjoy it. Maybe at the holidays, you drop off a little gift. I usually think that it takes about 5 points of contact before another therapist feels comfortable referring to you. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is just not following up. Easy fix. The second biggest mistake that I see therapists making is when they are sitting at a marketing coffee. And let me tell you guys, I was the marketing director for a large treatment center. My job for about 4 years was literally to go to lunch every single day with therapists in my community. I've sat across from a table with over, at this point, probably 1,000, but at that point, maybe 350, 400 therapists. The biggest thing I saw was therapists who, when they were in a marketing meeting, would kind of freeze up, get a little bit awkward, which we all feel that way, right? And not carry on the conversation and just be themselves. Now, I know this sounds really cheesy and a little bit judgmental, but as therapists, we are sitting face to face with people every day. So when you invite another therapist to go to lunch or to go to coffee, if you don't carry that conversation and in some ways treat it kind of like a mini therapy session, not really like you're not asking them tons of personal questions, but you want to be asking them questions about their career, about their practice. You as the host, if you invite another therapist to coffee, you want to be thinking of your role as carrying that conversation, making them feel warm and comfortable and kind of relaxed in your presence, right? Because you're modeling to them how you will be in the therapy room. And the biggest mistake I see people make is rushing into a coffee, coming in late, not carrying on a conversation, talking all about themselves and that kind of thing, and not making the other person feel really comfortable. An easy fix to this is really taking a minute before you get out of the car on the way to lunch with somebody and saying to yourself, I am showing up with this person to learn more about them, to learn more about their practice, and not to necessarily get any result. So I know that the goal is getting a referral, but typically in a marketing meeting, I never talk about that. I keep the focus on asking about the person's practice and sharing with them some of the things that I'm passionate about and just enjoying their company. You would be surprised by how that yields more referrals than keeping the focus on you or just tightening up and getting really nervous. Take a minute, relax. You're all there just to connect with each other. Normally, therapists are really warm and empathetic people. you can do this. The last mistake that I see a lot of therapists make is one that might surprise you, which is not referring out. So often therapists think people should refer to me just because I'm a great therapist. And you might be a really good therapist. If somebody is thinking of referring out a client and they have two equally qualified therapists, but one of those therapists has referred them clients, I'm telling you, they are going to refer to that person. We don't like to think about it that way because as therapists, we want to think that people are always making the referrals to an excellent clinician. And often they are, but there are a lot of excellent clinicians out there and people do tend to refer to the people that referred to them. Now, I know a lot of you might be sitting here thinking like, I don't have clients to send to other people, right? You might be just starting out, whatever it is. It's not so much like about sending them the client if you don't have them, but it is about being of service. So if you don't have clients to send to somebody yet, saying something like, hey, I'm new in town. I don't necessarily have clients to refer to, but I would love to support your private practice in any way that I can. That could be sharing their social media content. That could be attending their networking events. It could be inviting them to a consultation group. You want to focus on being of service to the people around you. And then when you do have clients to refer out, don't absorb every single client that comes into your private practice. Instead, refer out people who are not a good fit for you. And I promise you that what goes around will come around. Here's a free little bonus tip that I want to share, even though it's not the other three. And that is when all else fails, don't talk too much about yourself. This is one I see a lot of therapists make, and it's one that I want you to be careful of. When you are meeting other therapists, keep the focus on them, make them feel comfortable, and you might be surprised by the referrals that come your way. If you like this video, it would mean a lot to me if you would comment below and tell me some of the things that you're struggling with in marketing your private practice. Tell me what other things you'd like to hear about on this channel, and make sure to like and subscribe.